Okay, everybody, I think I got it all worked out. My apologies. Gremlins all over the place. Third time's a charm. The real crew is back. Thanks for hanging in. Let's just settle in. Let's get to it. I'll rip through. Really wanted to get to a couple of things. I've got some interesting things to get to, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time. You guys know where it all starts. Go to harmonictrader.com. Get the TradingView platform for Harmonic Pattern Collection. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com, and then everything else at Harmonic Trader. What's going on? All right, are we good? How are you guys? Levels good? Connection good? It's in my area. Where I'm at. We've got a lot of storms, and it's just kind of close to the water here. Sometimes it happens. I don't know. Anyway, NASDAQ is now down 120. No biggie. Everyone else, why don't you guys, let's keep it loose. You guys let me know what you want to look at. Thank you. A lot going on. Really what I wanted to talk about were the signs, the things that are really popping off, okay, that tell us we're not really anywhere close to being overbought or have gone too far. I know a lot of people keep saying, how high can this market go? Kind of it was super blown away by how far we've gone. NASDAQ futures hit 25K. Now 24,880. Also, a lot of people very frustrated with Bitcoin. I'm not, and I don't think you should. I think everything's kind of setting up for what should be the follow through move. What's going on, guys? Come on back in. Yeah, we're gonna go. We'll do a full session. You guys pop a couple symbols in. Other things that we've covered in the past are really starting to move, and I wanted to get into the quantum stocks and stay on those. Highlight a few other stocks that have done ideal pullbacks, and now we go again. Great, thanks. What's up, Claire? Claire wants to look at Cummings, CMI, and Semiconductor Index, SMH. Here's NASDAQ, 875 now, dropping new low of the day, but I'm really not, you embrace these. You really, I think these are to be embraced. Thank goodness. What was up here? A little deep crab at 976. That was all. Going back from yesterday. What's possible? I don't know. Maybe as low as 24.6. But still on this like rocket ship. I would love to see 24.6. I don't think so, but maybe back down here like 820, 830 for the day. Just throw out a couple levels, but boy, I'm telling you, when you've got stuff like this, guys, on your 4-hour charts, just so amazing. You really have, you just kind of have to kick it out to the higher time frame and say, all right, this is remarkably strong. Just so many things that have materialized. And what's probably the most interesting fact is these signals we had back a month ago, and a lot of them were on the daily chart, have led to an acceleration, smashing through the highs that I don't think a lot of people really thought was possible after the run from April till August. So let's see what's going on here. NASDAQ is, with today's move, we're popping out of the extreme on the daily. That's okay. I'll monitor that, but anything other than a pause, a mild 1 to 3% retracement is about the limit of what you'll get. Keep that in mind. Where we are, breaking out, continuing, and in what I said about when I started before I got cut off twice, is that we just keep making this massive progress up to these higher targets off the April correction. Okay, we're still looking for 26.5. We're still looking for this to be realized. I mean, it's a blip now. How severe did that January to March correction seem? And now you're, within a stone's throw away of like that 1618 expansion level at 26, 26.5, depending on what you're looking at. Everything else that we've seen, a lot of individual stocks, new tech popping off. It's just, awesome. So again, NASDAQ, yeah, selling off right now. That's great. Thank goodness. After how many days up? Let's look at NQ futures right now, this second. Where are we going? On the 5-minute chart for today, yeah, I mean, where's the 886 off of yesterday? Hold on. Even a swing, here's yesterday's action. There was the low. They dropped it on the low. So something like this for today, guys. I don't think it's too crazy. A little bat action, 45B point. 886 for today. Target like 24,840-ish. You're already there. 860. Yeah, and that's it. Again, one of the ways that I just, when you get into these kind of corrections within the uptrend, is just line up next HSIs. We're hitting now, and this might be something to follow through for the next 30 minutes or so. But HSI hitting oversold now, not ready. We probably need about 10 more minutes till that pops out. You're 873. Again, maybe target like 840 as a low. But so many of these have made remarkable gains, and probably the stock of the day, Taiwan Semi, just keeps going, guys. Taiwan Semi is like so many of these that are popping off remarkably, up 9 today. I'm staying long. I'm just going to ride this. I think this is now probably a number 3. You got NVIDIA, Broadcom, Taiwan Semi. I think in that order. Taiwan Semi hit the 88. Did it hit that 1618 today? Sure did. Most of these are just continue, guys, to realize these minimum 1618 expansions. In many cases, those end up being at much higher prices. It seemed impossible just a couple months ago. Yeah, 840, 842. I think so. Yes. We can look at the Russell. Let me look at SOX index first, and then we'll kind of dive into a few things like the Dow. We haven't looked at the Dow in a while. But the SOX continues to be this blow-off move, taking out, there you go, massive monthly patterns. Now, this won't be official, so we really see how this monthly bar shapes up. But what is that? Massive bullish engulfing continuation. I mean, breakout. All the kind of things you want to see in a breakout move. Forget the patterns. If you just take away the patterns, take away all the tools, and you're just looking at price action. Let me do it like this. I'm going to turn off the patterns. Turn off the little simple EMA. I'll leave the arrows. But guys, price action wise, and this is a monthly chart, this breakout is on par with things like here back in 2020 breakout. I think it's even stronger than what happened in 24. and maybe even more like 16, 18. Characteristics of that kind of move, what it should do, smash the level. And 7,000, 7,000, 7,100. Clearly, I think that's an easy target now. Doesn't seem like a lot. What I'm really curious about and what I wanted to get to today is that are we looking at something that's not only just smashing out all time new highs, but should we be considering this on a new accelerated uptrend like that and then take it to targets? Because we're another, we're like one big month away from actually smashing the decade long channel like that. And we've seen that before. We've seen that before. Before I got cut off, what I was really getting to earlier were the similarities between 1995 and 2025. I'll get to that in a second. But I want everyone to think about what are the possibilities here on the monthly chart for the stocks. Getting overbought. All right, finally hitting overbought, but um, we know that there's going to be further expansion. You're going to need 2 or 3 months of development before that can even give you an inflection. And we've seen the same thing. You go back to 2017 here, the first test of the overbought was early, and we don't even consider it a signal until like a dot all the way over here. Not to mention, all right, we're expanding again here our monthly chart. So this character change of what's going on, it ends up being like this. And you guys know I pride myself on dishing out levels. And there's only two levels that I'm really concerned with or focused on for 6-12 month period. Let's first get to the 1618. SOX at 7,500. But what if this SOX thing is a blow off move? And it's something that I've seen before. I started on the Philadelphia Exchange in college on the SOX, trading SOX options with not me trading, but helping people trade as a desk clerk. SOX was trading at like 200. Now we're 6,000. What if we go 2618, guys? And that's the kind of craziness I want you to consider. I've been saying for a while that the semis are going to lead. But will they lead and explode? And I think we're coming up. We're going to close this candle next month. And then we're going to see literally October, November, how that shapes up. Is this the start of an accelerated kind of blow off move? If it is, and I do think that's possible, right? Then we will go into like a 3 to 6 month acceleration period here. And with all of the AI stuff, chip stuff, a lot of that's getting realized in a way that is faster than what we've been talking about. Great. NASDAQ just hit our level. We were saying 30. NASDAQ's there, just hit. We just dumped 30 to 60. 60 to 30, excuse me. We're at that 886 right there. There you go. That's what we were talking about. All right. Anything here yet? No, deep oversold. This is a good example. All right, we had a target, no confirmation. I will let that bounce around within like a 20-point range until we can get some kind of HSI or amplified turning around. So still lower, but that was the 886 we were just talking about. It was at, like I said, 75 down to 30. Now it's 22. But no confirmation yet. Oh, I did want to tell you guys. So I mentioned last time about the combo amp HSI indicator that looks like this. Where'd it go? I just had it. Mm, hold on. Did I? It was taken off. All right. My whole point about that, and maybe this is a good thing to look at as it's happening on the 5 minute basis. Combination of amplified and HSI to basically register together. They're doing that right now. They're still both oversold. No signal yet. So lower until we can get both of these out of here. But the combo indicator is then going to pinpoint both of those readings added together, but it won't trigger until we get above the 50 level, and then we start looking. All right, it's kind of, we saw that this morning. This is RTH. Yep. Right up there. Although that's not as tight as I want to see, and I still want to mix these with patterns. The 30-second time frame, I think we've got this morning. We had a couple things down here. We had up there. ETH maybe. Hold on. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Let's turn on the patterns. That's going to help. There you go. Go back to the 5 minute. All right, good. 790 dropping like a rock. Wow. You know what? No problem. Thing was so overdone in the last day or two. Let this come in. But still, look, it's lower until we signal. So, that's deep oversold. And what I'm Are you kidding me? Sean, are we out? Let me know. Are we okay, guys, or no? Because if it's not going to happen, no way. I'm done. All right, we're back. Did we drop? I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. Hold on. This is really. I will not come back online if this is the case. Hold on. All right, stay with me. I don't know what's. I honestly, I'm done. I've said this before, and now I'm absolutely going to make the switch. Go over to Starlink. It's just not consistent. All right, thank you. So let's stay with that. I'll come back to this in 10 minutes. Still lower, guys. Still lower. We were looking. I said that from 870 to 820. Now we're 800. Really quick, guys. Dow Jones Industrial Average. I wanted to bring this up. We don't look at it enough, and I think it's something that if we want to know how fast this thing's going to go, check out what we've done just in the last couple weeks. Perfect crab, type 1, type 2. Like a lot of these setups, we're up here at no confirmation. And where's the indicator? Nowhere to be found. Actually, both of them are above the 50. So a couple of people asked me about what I thought about this retest with the hop at 45,658. I just think maybe it's a pause, but there's no worry about that until you get confirmation. Until we have some kind of confirmation, assume that as a failure. And then it's 1618, which I think is the game plan for everything. Minimum 1618s. That's 50K Dow. That's 50K Dow. S&P gets there probably first, then NASDAQ, then Dow. Who was asking? Somebody was saying about the Russell. Yeah, no, I have Starlink. I bought the satellite like a year ago, a year and a half ago, and never set it up. Now I'm going to. Is this a live Powell indicator? That's funny. Maybe. Russell 2000. Guys, IWM like this. Big patterns here, okay? And I think maybe this is something that we will look back on years to come of these massive patterns, how they gave us incredible weekly reactions, but what was even better were the returns. And the return phase for Russell still says up to as high as 256 or a dot, and we're overbought again, so that will generate yet another HSI. The only way to think about it is like this. If we don't have clear indicator confirmation, then price action is going to continue in its predominant trend to test the higher levels, which is there. And you just assume this will continue until we can get not only rolled over, but under the 50 level. And that's something that we've been talking about, that of why that gives us acceleration more than anything else. And if we have our indicators that are, harmonic strength index is just expanding still higher above 88.6, we know we're early. If you're looking for a short up here, okay, it doesn't happen, is not even considered until that roll returns, where they just kind of go through bypass, like we saw with NASDAQ, or again S&P 500 or the SPY. Remember 6180, guys? All of these 618, thinking, yeah, maybe it'll get up to 618. It's now 663. Just, remarkable. That's the monthly. And that monthly chart, you're looking at this as it was a successful pattern. All right. Massive reaction. That's a shakeout. This is kind of the response of that shakeout where, yeah, 1618 is up here around 700. But as I was saying before, the takeaway from today, and especially as we get into the next month, 6 weeks, are we looking for a change in character where things go, inexplicably ballistic beyond your trend line, your trend channels, even our best expansion targets become just something that is just blazes through. And that's what's going on. I put the patterns out here. I highlight the specifics so that you guys really know what to focus on. But the patterns have always been kind of a temporary signpost of future price action. And once we crack limits, it's defining a new scenario. So we had that here, the deep crab. And many of you know, especially those that were at our session back in June, we talked about failed patterns. So once it cracks, like the 1618, what's possible? We run the scale. 2618 off of that pattern failure is like 688, 690, 314. These are the expansion target ratios we use. That's 760. These are all very reasonable and what I think will be accurate targets of how high is this going to go. And I think hitting our big targets of 680, 700, something like that, probably happen January or sooner. We see it. We see things popping off individually, left and right. What do we need to do? How do we capitalize on it? Wait for situations exactly like right now. NASDAQ's down 200. Great. Get a couple days down. Get some daily oversold, 4-hour oversold, and just go again. Yeah, I'll do BTC. I'm not dying yet, man. I got a few more years left. Regardless, these markets have to move. I know you guys want Bitcoin to move. Okay, these markets need to lead, and they have. And those have been characteristics of the prior cycle in 2020, even 2016. Stocks led crypto. I hate to say it. Maybe they didn't go as hard as crypto, but the force of stocks definitely helped crypto. Now, here's Bitcoin. Okay, and what did we say last week? We're squeezed between 118, which was, we got up there on the 4-hour, and then 111, 113. So here we are. We're 112 right now. The other thing that I said to you guys was looking for this kind of a thing because we had the bat pattern. Just go back to the last session. I said, look, don't be surprised if we're back at 113 by next week. Here you are. And target 2 is 111, 100. Also matches up with retesting some shark support back at, again, 110, 111. And that's your spot. Right here, right now, guys, is your spot for Bitcoin. You want that launch to begin? I would start looking into this window on the 4-hour chart, probably over the next, I don't know, 10 days, week. This thing stabilizes now. All right? Give it this week. But if this is really fits in line with everything that I've been anticipating with how it should go, 111 is still the number, but we have now finished this bat pattern that we talked about last week on Thursday. Bang, there you go. Now, can we send it back up? Because this is what should happen. We end the reaction, and I'll be conservative. Okay, 111 back to 120. But by Thursday, when we come here on Thursday, no glitches. We should have already been clearly basing out here. Keep an eye on that zone for Bitcoin. How's that? All right. Everything I've talked about, the way to get to 160, 155, a big part of it holds 111 in the same way I said hold 75K back in March. A lot of similarities here. Okay, remember 75K, guys. It was 76.5. A ton of stuff, and that's very similar to where we were back in last year, last summer, down there around 55K, there, and just keep stair stepping it. I know people are looking for a million Bitcoin, but price action, market moves, market participants. Especially now that you've got more market participants, big hedge funds, big money here. Okay, this is going to still follow laws of price action. You got to go up to go down, got to go down to go up. Expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement. That's Bitcoin's deal. I really been looking at 2 areas on the daily here, and we can squeeze this whole thing into bullish HSI, which is on the daily like 113, bearish like 118. So we're definitely squeezed, but we're going to resolve this soon. And I think it's literally like the next 10 days. We resolve this and then we go higher. But that's what we said last week. Look for that retracement, and then we go. Are the purple diamonds a new feature? Yeah, that's what I was alluding to before. I'm gonna make this available for all people who are subscribers very soon. And it is kind of that look, nothing's ever going to be the total holy grail, but with when we have patterns, which is the key, with confirmation, you have a finely tuned zone to anticipate some type of reaction trade is the way to think about it. Couple people that, especially new trials, I welcome everybody, and I should just do that really quick again, but you have to understand, all right? You got to have a little foundation knowledge of not only the patterns, but the confirmation strategies. Best way to do it, send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Get the trial. And please, don't just try to start clicking buttons right away. Take a day or two and look at how the patterns play out, but especially with the confirmation strategies. And the confirmation strategies, for us has been what I've been showing for a while is looking for a yellow dot. All right. And that dot with a pattern level is our best setup opportunity. For Bitcoin right now, we're at target 2. We know that the patterns love to go, especially when you have a T1 reaction, type 1 reaction. They have just been loving going to target 2s because the volatility, the enhanced volatility over the market. So that with a dot basically helps us define the area. Where's the end of the reaction? I'd be looking there. The purple dot for Bitcoin here, yeah, that helps the situation. That is the combination of both amplified, there you go, and HSI. Collectively, the summation being above the 50. It's a starting point. And again, this will just be a beta test. There's a couple other things I want to tweak into it, but all of it's designed to get the right environment with the price level. Meaning, if you have a movement and you have a pattern there, is it at an extreme? Like if you have a bullish pattern and you're oversold on your indicator, chances are, you're going to have to get some kind of reaction, natural reaction, even if it's just like a quick burst. But those are the kind of areas where you anticipate it, really maximize risk reward. I'll have more information on this. I need another couple days, but I'll get it as soon as I can to you guys. There's a few other things I mentioned. We have a statistic, a pattern statistic. There's a type 1, there's a pattern. It completed. Start looking in that range, and our expected level is go to target 1 as minimum constraints for any trading decision. The rest of this, again, it's more management. I don't even think you're going to, you're looking to capture the segments. That's Bitcoin in a 5-minute. What are we right now? Yeah, 11.3 back down. Now we're, sorry, no, what was that? 113. Sorry, now 112. 111 is the big number though, guys. And it did do what I said last week it needed to do, which is one more retrace, set it up. Daily is oversold, so that's a big deal as well. And I mentioned this last week as well. If we're coming into this time where, and we are, where everyone's looking for that second half of the crypto move, it would be great to be positioning for that move off of a daily oversold HSI, but you're probably 2 or 3 days away. Probably, I would say 3 days away. It'll be the rest of the week. Is the screen? Come on, guys. Really? What's going on? Are we good? Because you guys are messing with my head. The screen is not black, is it? You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check this out. Anyway, listen. Let's just rifle through some symbols, guys. Tell me what you want to look at. I don't care what it is. Bitcoin, whatever. NQ. Did we get that 5 minute? All right, there you go. There is a 5 minute diamond. No pattern. 30-second time frame. Back at 820. 820 was the 886 we were talking about. But hold on. No, it was here. Let's go through. I'll come back to this. It's not ready yet. Ethereum, 4,200, right? 4,150. We're just looking for that launch point. And look, we had the crab pattern, guys. It's not the greatest. I'll say this because of where it's pulling. That's not an extreme high or low, but it does have all the proper proportions. So that's why 4,700 is a critical 1618. This whole zone's critical. I mentioned this last time. Can we retest that HSI and let's like at 4,000 and then get another dot to continue? I mean, for Ethereum, with the move that it's made, all you're looking for is a brief reaction, retrace. If that's at 4,000, 3,800, or even 3,500, it's in here. But it's retesting that zone. It's still 100 lower. I've said this, haven't done anything with that yet. Yeah, everything. I don't know what's going on. Everything seems to be delayed for me, but I'm going to push through here and just at least get to a half a dozen of yours. A couple others. Coinbase. I think Coinbase is just waiting, ramping. Daily was overbought just yesterday after coming off of that daily oversold. This then squeezes it. I think we're still dealing with the 310 area, basically like 300 for Coinbase. Unfortunately, no pattern here, but I would treat that as a potential continuation like that was. For now, yeah, 320, 330, come back, retest like 310. Where is, yeah. This could even be the back test. Here's the reaction, the retracement from the summer rally. Retest that broken out area. Again, it's probably even better spot than before. Enough development there. Yeah, we did. I did the Russell 2000 before I cut off last time. Here's rum. Again, we talked about rum. Somebody brought this up, and I thought it was phenomenal, and I still do. I think you got a type 2 here. You have confirmation all down there at 785 or a little bit lower. It's great. What do you need? Time. That's it. I really like this. If you're not in this yet, here's what you're looking for. Okay, and you're probably, what, 1, 2 days, 2 green bars away. I think everything has completed for rum. It is a type 2, which means we look for target 2, 1329. Currently 750. The only thing I would, if you're not in it yet, maybe one green day and then buy it on the next day to get that breakout momentum, but you're really close. This reminds me, rum, and I brought this up last time, reminds me of Joby Aviation, which is like Archer Aviation and some of these others, where we had this. We had this shark. Where'd you go? Shark on the 4-hour? It might have been extended hours. Down at like 14. And it just took a little time to get out of that hole. Bitfarms, that's a first thrust move. Look at the downtrend. Okay? First move to break the downtrend. Great. Let it come in. You know, we will get an oversold trigger. Here you go. We'll get HSI down here, oversold. Let it just kind of let the air out right now. But that's Bitfarms, and a lot of these that you guys like to speculate on, I think they're fair game. They're fair game now. I think that, yeah, BTBT is the other one where we know there's patterns. BTBT, look at that. It's a big bat, ready to do. It's at 310. XA almost got clipped for the perfect type 2. But a couple of daily patterns down here. The weekly is even better. And again, these are not easy. All right. Why? Because, sorry, one second. You have to spend quite a bit of time down here before you get the big move. And we saw that in a lot of the quantum stocks earlier in the year, and then they skyrocketed. Bit Digital, just it's been here for what, 2 years now? But pretty close where we're ready to resolve that and turn back up. Under $4 is fine. And it is a type 2 off of that big weekly pattern. So I just say, again, let's stay on that. I kind of like it more now than I did maybe 6 months ago. Coming back, hold that area, 250, $3. Once we get above 4, then you go. I mean, that's where you can really accelerate. And that's usually my focus. At what point can this thing really, truly accelerate? Yeah, this is even better. Look, the 50 line on the monthly. You're headed in the right direction. That's all right. A couple more. Derek, Rivian, you know, that is, look at that chart. Rivian was 150 at the IPO, comes out, does its dump. That's a monthly and lots of oversold signals. I mean, that green line at $12 is a big deal. Now 15. What was the problem with this one? Well, it looked like a total IPO bust. Every pattern, we've tried to trade this a couple of times. I know back in 2023, we were taking shots here and then taking shots there on Rivian. And then I gave up about it on it. I think that was successful. Really nice type 1. That's ideal type 1 behavior. But came back for the 2 and failed. And did nothing for, what are we, 18 months? So really,